What's up, everybody? This is the Lazy Farmer, and I'm back working on the NorCal solo play, adjusting my virtual model railroad. Yep, had a couple days since the last stream, so some time to think about some things and what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to do to kind of help you guys that are, if anybody's brand new to Run 8, and I've seen some videos out there. I just bought Run 8. What do I need to do? Well, hopefully this will get you started. The single player series, and I'm going to be doing some multiplayer. I will be joining the Mateo server, doing that as a casual server. They take things seriously, but it is a casual series. I mean, I say that it's casual, but it's serious. Okay, they do. They run trains the right way. It's not get on there and hook up a whole 30 locomotives and notch them up at Run 8 and see how far you can go down the line and go into full speed. No, they don't. No, that's not tolerated. But they do. Yeah, they do. They do encourage people to come in, have some good time, make your mistakes. That's a perfect server to get on there, get used to playing in a multiplayer environment. Make your mistakes. They're not going to yell at you. They'll just help you fix the mistake, and then that way you can kind of gear yourself up. Ultimately, it's to get to what I consider to be the big leagues. I don't think anybody else does, but the big leagues would be the Depot Plus server, where everybody there runs it as if it is a full-blown, not model, full-blown railroad, Class 1 railroad, following Class 1 rules. Whenever possible, you manually start your locomotives instead of using the software to start it. So, anyway, sorry, taking a swig of water there. Speaking of getting started, let's go ahead and get started. So, I'm looking here at the Davis Yard, NorCal. So, we know already the last one we did was a flyby. This goes from Roseville up over the Sierra Mountains to Sparks. And so what I'm going to do today, and by the way, this does not work. I wish it did. And if it does work and I'm not figuring out how to do it, please let me know what it is. But that's pretty cool. I wish it would work. And there's another roundhouse down in the Southern California area, San Bernardino server. It's for Amtrak, and no, that one doesn't work either. Too bad. That'd be pretty cool. Especially if you need to turn a locomotive to get ready to send it out. That would be a perfect thing. Okay, and speaking of sending out, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy rocking here. I want to just get him. He is, okay, what am I doing? Am I relinquish your train? Did I have a train? I was looking at something. Okay, yeah, recreate that. We'll get this one out of the yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run around. I'm going to get rid of some of these cars. We're going to empty this yard out. I just don't want to delete that train. I do want to get in and take a look at the AI, what trains we have going. Here's the status here. And this one here is probably going to end up disappearing because you know what I need to do? I'm actually going to do it. I'm just going to delete them all. Get rid of them. There's a reason behind them getting rid of them. So, once again, my approach on single player, there's always something to do. And especially in the Southern California, which is such a huge area, you can kind of get overwhelmed or overwhelm yourself. Okay, there we go. You can overwhelm yourself if you try to do everything. And the approach is, this is your model railroad. This is your model railroad in the basement. And, when you go down to your basement and you look at your model railroad, what am I going to do today? Some of it's going to be working on your scenery. And in Run 8, what I consider scenery is working on the industries. Adjusting it, make some changes, maybe adding an industry, maybe removing an industry. In the case of there may be an industry somewhere down the line, and I'm just throwing this out as an idea, there may be something here in the Roseville area that needs to send cars to an industry in Sparks, and when that industry is done with those cars, they send them back here to an industry here. So there's that, and that's in the future. Today what I want to do is I'm going to show how to set up a manifest train, how to bring it in. You can either drive it in or you can AI it, and that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm just going to figure out what locals we have, and I'm going to AI and set up some locations for manifest to come in. Now, if we go to the here at the dispatch screen, we've got this long spur right here at the very top. This is the valley line, and for all intents and purposes, there's a railroad up in Northern California. It's called the California Northern Railroad, and it runs from Tehama, California, which is up close toward the California-Oregon border, and comes on down to Davis, not the Davis Yard, but Davis, California. Now, Davis, California is probably about a good 30 to 40 minutes south of where Roseville is. And so, and what we do in model railroading is you try to simulate a railroad. It doesn't have to be perfect. You want it to be perfect and exact. That's up to you. But for all intents and purposes, that valley line that comes in for the California Northern Railroad comes down into Davis, California. It's actually for this, I'm going to use it. It's going to come in right here at the end of this Y, right here. So that line, since it goes and connects up to Northern California, this would be a perfect place right here to kind of simulate a train coming down on the UP line, coming down from, say, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, any place up there in the north. So we want to make sure we get our tags, our originating tags correct. But in Run 8, it's the destination tag that needs to be accurate. And so we know that the destination tag is Roseville. Now, how do we figure this out? Well, I'm going to step back even more. So what I have done is I use the depot's website. So let me give me just a moment here. I want to turn this on. There we go. Okay, so I'm on the depot's website right now, and I put a link in the description. I will verify that it is right, so you guys can click on it. If you don't know about the depot's website, you can come here. But anyway, so go to the depot's website, and one of the first things I did was I went to their downloads, and I got the Depot Plus config files. And you just click on this link right here, and it downloads the file. It's a zip file. Unzip the file into a folder, its own folder on the desktop. And I'm not going to go through the process because they do provide written instructions right here, and they also provide YouTube video on how to change out the config files. But it will, based upon what you have inside the Run 8, if you have Southern California, Northern California, Southeast, and Selkirk, it will install the appropriate configs, and if you don't have all of these, it'll ignore it. Well, I've done that. So all my industries and the hump yard, everything that was from the depot has been transferred over to my system. So that's number one when I'm coming off with. Number two is I also use the reference sheet here. I'm looking at the destination tags. We're going to go to Northern California. And so I use these destination tags. So the nice thing is I know that anything that's coming from Sparks to Roseville north is probably pretty much going to come from North Platte. It may come from SPG2, which is North Lake, Illinois, which is right around Chicago. Any place east, Utah, OG, RO for Salt Lake City. Those are perfect. If I'm coming from west or south, I'm going to be coming up. Pretty much, it's going to primarily be coming from West Colton. I might have something coming up from Oakland, but then that valley line is going to come down from Portland. Benicia could be a good one from the Bay Area as well too. But you're going to see a lot of trains coming from Eugene, from Hinkle, so these are the tags I'm going to be using. Anything I send out is going to go to one of these tags. Anything that's coming in is coming in from one of these tags. Makes it easy. Just go with that. So the yard stations we have: RV, Roseville, SP Sparks makes it easy on this one, and these are all the industries that are on this particular that are in this particular region that we're going to be working with. And a lot of times, if I want to know what industries I'm going to be working, as an example, RV64, which we're going to work that today, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So anyway, our LRV64, that's the Valley line. So we know L is for local, RV is going to be Roseville, and then 64 is going to be, or actually R might be Roseville, V is Valley, because there is also RR as well too. But all these industries that are listed on that Valley line will have some kind of work to do, whether it's a set out, a pickup, or setting out and picking up at the same time. Interesting, they didn't make that a link. If you click on the links, it just takes you right to like a picture of the industry. So that's why, if you want to know what it looks like, you can go there. It's not going to transport you anywhere because you're outside of Run 8. And then, of course, if you want to know where that particular industry or what the map looks like, here it is, Roseville map, page 9. So we can come to maps, we can go to Roseville, and I usually just click on the map and see if it comes up for you guys. Hopefully it will. And then I just go, you can just scroll down to page 9, and then there's the Valley map. So that's pretty much at that point, what I want to do, how the industries work. It's good to know the maps too, because this starts from the Roseville sub. This is the yard area is going to be down here, and you can tell that if the locomotive is going this way, you can't pull in, but we can pull back and drop off a bunch of cars here, and we can take this sub, pull in, drop a bunch of cars here. But now we're left with a challenge right here, and this may not be what it exactly looks like, but okay, we can basically, we'll be pulling in, dropping, pulling in, dropping, if this is how it works out, and then we can continue down the line. And of course, these little sightings, almost 9,000 foot here, we're looking at 3,000 foot here. It's an opportunity to do a runaround if we need to do a runaround. So we have some, and then of course these run back. So typically what happens is we end up working, I guess they call them leading points. I'm not sure. I always get confused on that. So the industries that we can back into and drop cars, we work those on the way out the line, do a runaround, and then work the other industries, like these last 3 here. So that's going to be that's going to be what the focus is going to be about. All right. So let's see. Next thing is, we want to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to want to create a manifest train. So I want to bring a manifest train in, and I'm going to AI it, but I want it to come in with the cars not only for this industry on the Valley line, but all the other locals as well too. I want work to do. So today on my virtual model railroad, we're going to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do shift F2, left shift F2 to be exact, and AI generation trap, AI status. Okay, so this is where I wanted to come to. I was already there. Let me back all the way out. So when you go in for the first time, you see this. Right now I have it disabled. It's not going to generate any AI trains at any point at this time. I disabled it. I wanted to set this up. These were way too many, and of course the last stream you saw that I had we had the auto jam up in the mountain up in Norden, so that's another reason why I eliminated all the AI trains as of right now. So basically I have it set so anywhere between 26 minutes if the clock were to start now, 26 minutes from now to 30 minutes from now, trains might be a couple, 2, 3 trains spawned in. The max number of trains that are going to be on the map, including anything that I'm driving, is going to be 10. So, and then any symbols that drop in, if they drop in today, I got it set for 24 hours. Those symbols will not be used again until tomorrow. I did that one too because, as you remember, we did the flyover. I had like 4, 5, 6 Oakland to North Platte one right after another, after another, after another, and that's, yeah. I mean, Oakland spits out some trains, but not that many. So, and of course the button random spawn train. If you just want to spawn something right now, you can. So we want to look at the spawn points. Now the Valley sub, it's at main 5300. That's out in the valley. The slider switch all the way over to the left. Basically, there's no chance of any trains whatsoever being spawned on that Valley sub. And kind of want it that way. And there's, by the way, there's a really good YouTube video out there put out by High Rail Simulations, and one of the developers. I think he's one of the partners in Run 8, and he's also, well, he's a developer for Run 8, but he owns High Rail Simulations. High Rail Simulations puts out Selkirk, Mohawk, A-Line, Fitzgerald, and Waycross. So, and this was, he put out a really good video on how auto works. So if you want to know how the AI works, yeah, go find that. It's under, like I said, it's High Rail Simulations. So it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's worth watching it if you want to educate yourself on how auto works. All right. So anyway, we're going to go kick in. I want train types. So making sure that we've got Valley sub highlighted. I want train types, and I want a mixed freight coming in. So same thing here with the slider. I've got it all the way over left, so there's no chance of any mixed freights coming in. And train symbols. So I'm looking at what possibly train symbols I have, and I've got this one right here that I set up earlier before I started the stream. So M, go over the symbols. M is for manifest, mixed freight, but we just call it manifest. EU is coming out of Eugene, Oregon. It's going to Roseville. The double hash, whenever I spawn it, it'll use today's date. So if I spawn something, I leave the server running, and I come back tomorrow and I look at it, or 2, 3, maybe a week, because I'm going back to work here. I can look at it and go, oh, when did I spawn this? You know, and if it's the 15th and this one's labeled the 1st, I know that this really needs to be the train that I need to work first. So the next thing I set up for this tag is tag for industries. Yes. So I tagged them for the industries, and basically I want cars for all four of the locals that are run out of Roseville. So one of the things that I had put up, let's get out of this for a minute. One of the things that I had actually set up for you guys, let me see, I want that, or is it, do I have this? Let me see, yeah, this is what I want. I'm going to turn this on for you guys. Alright, so if you guys can see this, hopefully you can. Maybe if I put it up in the, look at this blue sky, you guys can see it better. So anyway, these are the locals that are run out of Run 8 here in the Roseville yard. So we have, the Roseville locals. We have YRV 98, LRR 60, LRR 62, and actually that's supposed to be LRV 64. So that's it. I messed that one up. Actually, I could probably fix it. Let's see. Well, let me. Boom, boom. Oops. No. There we go. All right, LRV 64. So that's it. And then, of course, we got the SP locals, which is not to be confused with Southern Pacific. That is Sparks locals. So we have the YSP 50, YSP 52, 54, 56, LRA 49, and LRA 63. We're going to come back. I'll keep that in there so you guys will have that. But right now, that's what we're going to focus. We're going to focus on Roseville. So what I want to do then is bring up the AI menu again and make sure that I have all four locals. And if we read through the documents that are in the folder when you install Run 8 for the first time, there's a whole bunch of PDF files. Please read those. The idea behind this is by tagging for the locals that I want, it's supposed to look at the industries and only send the cars that can fit in that industry. Whether that actually happens or not, that remains to be seen. And I say that, I throw my hands up because I was actually kind of surprised. I sorted local for the Arvin branch in Southern California, and surprisingly, every single car fit. So I thought it sent me too many cars, but no, everything fit. So we're good there. All right, so next thing we're going to do is I want this to get, now it doesn't really matter on this line, but on a main line, double track main line, or going over the mountain, train priority, if it meets something with a higher priority, it will go into a sighting and sit there and wait. So it may take a long time for that to come over. And then the other idea here is what type of locomotives we can send it. ES44, probably the most popular one, but those are the three big ones for road locomotives. So we can do the ES44, SD70 Aces, C, and then the Dash 9s, and we can also down here pick what kind of power, road name, and these are, I'm going to just leave that. All of these are now going to be set for, I'm drawing a blank here, set for Union Pacific. The only thing that's missing in here in my mind, and something that I saw earlier, is the cars tend not to be mixed up. So it's very unusual for a car to come down from a yard that doesn't have a hump in it, where flat switching goes on, for cars to be pre-blocked before they're sent to a destination. And in this case, if it's coming from Eugene, it's going to come down here to Roseville. It's not going to an industry. All right, and the only time that they actually would get flat switchers set out by industries is if the local is going to grab it, and usually the local crew will take that, or the yard crew will build it for the local crew, and then they'll block it by industry. So I know when I was playing with this last night, early this morning, everything kind of came in blocked together. That would be kind of nice if there was a little button here. You can click, just put a little check mark, say mix it up, random order, something to that effect. And that's the biggest one. That's the biggest thing that I'd take away. It's a minor point in my book. For me, it's a minor point. For you guys, it may not be, but this is what I would do. Anyway, so we're tagged for industries, and so the next thing we want to do then is we're going to go ahead and spawn. And we see here that on the Valley Sub, this train was spawned. So we can go to AI status. There's the train that we just spawned. It's holding. We can go ahead and transport right to that train. There it is. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to tell it to relinquish because I want this train. And that's the thing. Now, actually, I'm going to take it for just a little bit, but I didn't want it to run off. I wanted to take control of it. And so the AI guys got in there. They're starting it up. You can see the smoke coming up. And then they'll relinquish here in just a moment. But what does it look like? Okay, so first thing, I want mileposts on. That will be left shift F8, then left control F8 twice. We'll put the destination tags up, and I don't know if you can see that light green against the let me see if I can change them. Let's do this. I don't think that that's going to change. That's not going to change that. There we go. Change some message codes. Anyway, so, but we can take a look at the tagger. So here's our tag. Manifest UEU, Eugene, Oregon, to Roseville on today's date, the 8th. And then what we have, you can see LRR62. But they're all together. It's different industries, but they're all kind of grouped together. So how do we fix that? How do we make this a little more exciting when we go to push it over the hump? Great question. So, and this is why I say this should be kind of random order, but anyway. So, all right, they relinquished. So there's our cars. This is what it's going to look like. And it comes all the way back here to the end of it. But this is on the Valley Sub. So we're going to send this. I'm now going to actually just wanted to show it to you, but I'm going to AI it because I want it to come down into the yard. And then we're going to fly into the yard, and we're going to make sure that it can make it into the receiving yard. So we want to make sure all our switches are set. So we're just going to AI it, let it go about its way. Let's fly back to the yard. Now we can fly back to the yard, but I'm just going to do the overview here so you guys can see where it's going to come, where we have to come back to after it's sorted. But we have enough cars now for all 4 locals out of the Roseville yard. Okay, so this is the one. So, okay, so it's a little spur. So we basically have to drive in, back in, drive in, back in. So we do have like the passing sighting here. So as we come up, it would be something that, and we want to kind of consider this as we're building the train in the local yard too, that we may just grab it and pull it and see what trouble we get into, or we may end up building the train in the, flat switch it in the local yard and get it ready so that the local can take it out. All right, we got some cars that need to be picked up. So Eugene, North Platte. See, some of these, this makes me want to look at this industry here because these are in wrong tags. Camblin Steel. Same thing here. Oakland. So, and the reason I say they're wrong tags is simply because in the Union Pacific world, everything's tagged with just 2 letters. BNSF is 3 letters. So let's jump down. Let's take a look at this industry real quick, because this one is just something that I don't think is. The other thing too. Whoops. I miss? Oh, right control F8. There we go. It turns on. That's what I was missing. Right control F8 turns on your industry tags. So we can kind of see. Let me get to something again. Okay, so you can see this little orange dot that my orange arrow is pointing at. That is basically any car that are inside those orange dots, and you can see the string of them back here. The industry will actually work those. To pull up the industry tag, left control I pulls up the industry configuration, and once you're standing on the track or near the track for that industry, search using closest track, boom, brings us right to it. There's the local number, LRV64. Tracks are assigned CSS. These are things that are configured. You can create your own locals if you wanted to. If you wanted to break, say you wanted to break this up into 2 different locals, for theoretically speaking, you can make one LRVA 64 and then LRVB 64 and have those 2 locals. And as long as the industry this is set right and the symbol is set right for the industry, it'll work. You mean this Run 8 is extremely configurable, all based on how you want to do it. So once again, treating solo play, treating it like it's a model railroad will actually it gives you that flexibility. Think about that terms. Let's see. Process cars and blocks. So what I want to do now is I want to scroll down and I want to take a look at what we're asking for. And this is a prime example of what I mean. That, okay, every code in here, they want gondolas. It can hold 4 cars. It takes 24 hours to work the cars. If it's producing loaded cars, then what they want are empty cars. So it produces loaded cars. So, but every single one of these, as I scroll through, every one of those is a two-letter code. So that's proper, but that just means that those cars are inappropriate. So, okay, this industry is set up fine. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and escape. I don't want to adjust anything. But these tags, not right. So I'm actually just going to delete that because it's just, yeah, it's wrong. So we already know that these down here. Oh, this dude, sorry, he's got nothing to do now. He's like, I can go take a break. All right, let's come down here. Let's take a look and see. We got propane services down here. Propane's big. Propane services all throughout, from Sacramento all the way down to Bakersfield. Propane is huge. Most houses out there in the valley are run off of propane. All right, so same thing here. These codes not correct. Now, the reason this is important too is that, okay, we're looking at HPI, so we'll do the same thing. Left control I, and Heritage Propane. We're going to look for the cars. Okay, we want tank cars, so it wants all those, but it needs that code on the car. HPI needs to be on the car so that the cars could actually be worked appropriately. So, and what these do is they want loaded cars. It will create empties. So these are empties because they're green, but the tags are wrong. So I'm actually going to delete these because the next time I spawn, and we're going to go do that, we created one spawn point on the valley. I'm going to create another manifest spawn point all the way over in Sparks, over by Half-Ed, so that one's going to come from Ogden, Utah, or it can come from Eugene, Eugene, not Eugene, Ogden, Utah, Salt Lake City, someplace like that, North Platte, anywhere to the east, and that one's going to go up and over the mountains. And that's just to generate traffic as well too. So we'll take a look at that, and so we're going to continue on. Let's go. Let's move on. So I'm going to do left shift F12 so I can go into, well, people call it fly mode. I'm going to call it drone mode. All right, and so SMD, Save Mart. We look at the cars. Same thing. These cars are tagged incorrectly. I don't want. I mean, we can. Okay, listen. We can change the tags if we wanted to. But honestly, initially, what I want to do is I want to create some car flow and fix some things. The other thing too, back there on the end of the Valley Sub, I actually found, and I fixed it off stream, but I actually found a place where an industry was put right on the main line, and that's not right. So that was a mistake. So. As good as they are, they do make mistakes as well too. The developers are. They set that up, and I mean they put some things in place so that you have to kind of learn or use your opportunities to learn to create and adjust and configure Run 8 to you. So all right. Anyway, at this point here, okay. So I'm at the Y here. If we go off to the left, that's going to go up and over the mountains. All right, so we can even simulate something coming down from, Washington, Oregon, down that valley branch, and then heading up and over the mountain to head out toward the east. Or if we go right, in this case we want the manifest to come right, it's going to come over here and then come into the yard. Now these switches here are controlled by auto, so I'm going to get on the ground. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that my switches are set correctly so that we can get this train to flow right into the yard. Now it's because I'm on the ground. Alright, so auto will switch this. Anything that's CTC or automatic switching, I'm not going to worry about. But from this point on here, there we go. I have them come straight down. So I just have to remember for anything that's inbound, these two particular tracks may have to be kept. All right, let's go back into drone mode again. Follow this down. That's a good switch. Bad switch. Bad switch. Come on, Shane. Oh, get closer. Why are you not clicking? There we go. Bad switch. Okay, a good switch on that one. Straight through. And I really hate when it does that, but I get it. Alright, and let's go back into drill mode because I really want to look at this. So this is the bowl classification bowl. I really need to come out here. I threw the wrong switches. So can I get over to there? Yes, I can. Alright, so that's a good switch. But I need this one. This one. This one. Alright, and we are going to... Alright, I'm going to have him... Whoa. Alright, now I'm moving too fast for the delicate work. Switch here. Okay, and he's going to come in here. That switch is good. That one's good. It's going to go straight through. I don't want to go into the car repair facility, but we can go down next to it, which it's already lined up for that. And so they're all going to park right here on this track. So perfect. So I think I got everything all set. So all right. So we got that manifest coming in. Once again, tags are wrong, so I'm going to delete these. For right now, that's good. All right, so that's set. We've got the AI coming in. So he's coming to a stop. So why are you coming to a stop? Transport to him. Hey, get back here. He should be fine. I think he should be fine. He'll hit that line, head on in, so he should be good. So let's do the next thing here. We're actually going to do, let's generate some traffic. So I want something going from a left shift F2 traffic generation. Let's go back, and I'm going to leave this disabled for right now. I don't want to do it manually. So Elkhorn. We have Elkhorn, Roseville, Main 2 eastbound, and there's Elkhorn, Main. So that we're going to do Elkhorn, Main. And I want to send a mixed freight to Sparks. So first thing, remember when the last time was we did the fly-through, everything was not, all the trains had, all the cars had none on it. I don't like that. So I'm looking at, like, okay, from Fresno, this is a BNSF, all the cars are going to be tagged for that destination. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Same thing here. Manifest freight. So this is a UP, Fresno to North Platte. Okay, so this one's going to be interesting to see where he's going to route this one. Because if that's coming in, I'm almost willing to throw that one in just to see what Otto's going to do. Because that might go up the Valley sub. Which he should hold it up because I got that train coming down the Valley sub. That could be for some interesting railroading when you're working those. All right, okay. No, we're not looking at it yet. Hang on. Let's go down the thing here. That's the AI again. That I want to come all the way down to the Y. Alright, so the Y here, so that train should head. He's already got an approach, restricting approach. So the bottom one's flashing, if you can see that there. It actually means that he's going to be heading to the right. And then he should, let's see, Otto's got him. Okay, here he is here. Otto's already got him lined in, and he's got him lined down to come into and work his way through the yard to get into the receiving yard. A little bit of it, I think if that's how. When I went by it, I didn't notice it. Of course, I couldn't see much from the window of the train. But if that's how it's designed, it seems like it's kind of a little bit of a weak point. But anyway, I'm just being picky. Let's get back to the AI generation. Okay, so this is going to PT is Portland. Here's West Colton to Roseville. Here's a manifest coming from West Colton to Roseville. That's pretty cool. Tag for industries. Which ones are we tagged for? Just for LRR 62. So I can bring one in there, those three, and those four are, I believe it's RV 98. I'm going to grab my notes. I showed you where to go on the depot site for to look at. So those are the four. So that will come in based off of those four set for an RPN. It's all -9s that are coming in. UP, that works. And then we have a quality. This is BC to PVJ. Okay, so this is going to be heading through. What I want to do, since this is on Elkhorn, I'm going to add one. So we're going to go new, and this is going to be a mixed freight or manifest freight coming from West Colton. Let's go, it's all capitals here, guys. West Colton to SP, which is the Sparks yard, and then # today's date, and we're going to tag those for the industries and Sparks. So looking at my notes again, the industries and Sparks. So YSP 52, 54, 56, 50, LRA 63 right here, and LRA 49. So those are the 6 locals that run out of the Sparks yard. So we're going to send that train there, because once it gets there, we're going to have to split off the locomotives, which will be another stream, and do some flat switching. And it's a 2-stage flat switching, or I call it 2-stage, because you're going to have to flat switch it into its locals, and then you're going to have to flat switch the locals in by industry. And I tend to drill down a little bit more when I switch by industry. I try to plan the route of the local and then switch the industries, so and put it out that way, so it's more efficient. But anyway, we're going to do that. We got that set. Okay, so we're looking at same thing. We're going to go ahead and put in those 4, those 3, and this time we're going to do UP and Southern Pacific, since Southern Pacific is actually owned by Union Pacific, or has been swallowed up by Union Pacific. So that one is all set. West Colton to Sparks, we're all set. We're going to spawn that train. There it is. And so if we go to the AI status, there's our, and we can transport to that one, and there we are. So At this point, you can see we got a nice mixed up. Cars look all nice and mixed up. And we can even do it even worse too. I mean, we can, but I'm not going to do that today. But there's a way to copy it into the train maker upper and then randomly resort it and all that. But these cars are selected by the type of industry and whether they need loads or if they need empties based on that. So, all right. So I'm going to let this one move on down. And I'm expecting it as well too to probably hold up its sparks for a little bit because there is a recrew point there. So, all right. Let's go in and let's watch that AI and see if he makes it through and see if my routing. All right. Other things I want to do too is I'm going to get rid of that was sparks to route. I'm going to get I'm going to get rid of some of these trains. I want a clean yard, and I want to start off with a clean yard. There we go. I just want clean. The only ones I'm not going to clean out are going to be the ones in the repair facility because I plan on using those. But I definitely want that clean yard. There's nothing in the bowl. We're good there. I'm going to leave all the power units in place. I may delete them as I see fit, change them out. Like this one here, yard, Roseville 1. Typically, this is not something that, I mean, this is road, to me, this is road power. Yeah, this is all road power. So I would change this out. And, whoops, what are you doing here? Something just popped up on my screen. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's all road power. What I would do then is Union Pacific and the SD45s, and anything that's light blue is something it's a DLC that I own. So I'm going to go to the SD40s then. Tunnel motors I would use up at like the small little yard and trucky. Those are locomotives that's kind of designed for inside of tunnels and higher elevation to help with cooling on the locomotive. So we can go with some GPs or SDs. Do I have any SDs? Really don't have any SDs? Oh, SD40. There is a Union Pacific, Southern Pacific. I thought I saw a GP 40-2s. You know what? We're going to play with that. Add. And I'm going to reverse. Right click to reverse it. Alright. And we're going to place the train, and I'm just going to drop it right there. Alright. And same thing, I'm going to tag it. Y-RV. Oops. -1. So Y-RV 1. And that one we can just leave blank. Alright, so there's some of our switching power here. There's our AI coming in. LLC. Let's get rid of this. Stockton. Delete that. What do we got down here? Roseville trim power, but it's road power. I don't want to do that again, so let's do Roseville twin. But this is, see, these tracks over here are the city tracks as they're labeled for Union Pacific, and I've got Roseville. I've got these two units here, and this is the local yard right in here where these two are sitting. So I'm going to retag these. Oops. Relinquish the last train. Forgot to do that. And grab this, and I'm just going to retag them to. Or switch to. Alright, I like that. That'll work. And we're going to get rid of these. Oops. And then LRR62, LRR62. So honestly, you know, an SD70, an ES44, yeah, that's kind of over. I don't know. It's a little overpowered. Road units don't want those. So we'll leave that as it is. All right. So I'll relinquish the last train that I had. So I'm pretty much set up to start accepting my own power here into my virtual model railroad. So I hope everybody's doing well today. Just going to wait for, we're going to follow along with this guy just to see, make sure that he flows through the way I wanted him to. So he is coming down the track. So I pretty much have to remember any trains coming in from the east, at least this track to the right of the poles facing in this direction, I have to leave that open. I can't put anything there because he's got no way to get into the receiving yard, which is back here. Yeah, I mean, I don't want long trains coming through. This is the service yard here for all the road power that's coming in. Here's the storage track for the, you can see a locomotive ready track for the road power that needs to go out. RVM, that's a maintenance away. That's a local. Here's for fuel. So the fuel, fuel tankers go for the diesel for the for the locomotives. So it just, I don't know. It seems like there should have been a better track, like Barstow set up. They should have had another track come in and then maybe connect in here and then go down. It just seems like it'd be a better little bypass system. I don't know. Maybe there is a way and I'll discover it, but right now this is what I'm doing just for the day. Alright, so waiting for this AI to come in. We've got another one coming in. So we're going to see how that's coming from. Oh, that was coming from the oh, that's going for Sparks. Yeah, this guy's going for the Sparks. You can see Otto's got him lined up going over the mountains. Okay, we're good. Valley sub is clear. So let's do another one while we're waiting for this guy to pull in. He should come down this path right here. Bypass the bowl, which is what I want. Okay, cool. Alright, so shift F2. AI traffic generation. Alright, spawn points. Let's look at Half-Ed. So Half-Ed westbound, Half-Ed main. That's interesting. I want to look at this because to me that seems like two places. So I might have to spawn a train in one spot and then go spawn another one and see where it spawns at. But anyway, let's do Half-Ed main. Train type, mixed freight. And no mixed freight, yep. And then we're going to go, alright, we have nothing coming in from there, so we're going to do this. And new. So this is going to be a mixed freight coming from UT to RV dash and then hash. Okay. And he's going to go up over the mountain. So we're going to do a little bit different here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to allow DPUs because that'll help him get up over the mountain. Low priority. No, we'll leave it at utter peon. And same thing. And same thing since it's Union Pacific. You can do any road power you want. I'm just staying with, this is primarily Union Pacific line and it's coming to Roseville. I can set another one up that can be, and I'll do that here in just a minute, but it's for, say, coming from this same spot, but now it's going to be going, all the way to, Barstow, We'll just pick that one. So we can do, and we'll use BNF signal, BNSF symbols for that. But for right now, I want to get this going, and then the same thing. We're going to be filtering for industries. Oops. So now look at this. So just basically we can choose our cars that we want to have come, but it's all auto rack. I want, we can pick box cars, and which ones we want to include if we just want to randomize it, but those won't be tagged for an industry. We want to tag it for an industry, which means we want to pick the actual locals that we need. And so same thing, we want LRR 60, 64, 62, it's actually LR, it should be LRV, yeah, it's LRV 64, LRR 62, and then the last one is YRV 98. So those are the 4 industries in Roseville. Close that out, utter peon, allow a DPU unit, and we're going to go ahead and spawn that one. So we've placed the train. Let's go take a look and see where that dropped in at. And this is going to RV, Sparkly, SP, UT. Yep, that should be good. Transport. All right, I'm going to go in drone mode. Oh, we got a Southern Pacific lead unit. All right, so this one, so that's what I thought. Half Ed, 50, half Ed, main 5300, all the way at the end, because that's the end of the region here. Good amount of cars coming in. All right, so we have we have our in the Roseville yard. We've got one. We got our first manifest pulling in. We got another one coming from, coming in and going to be passing through Sparks. And we got some other trains. We got another train going over the mountain. So we're good for now. For right now, we got some flow on our model railroad. So, all right. Next thing we're going to do, and if you just joined me, I'm approaching this as if this is my virtual model railroad, as if it is in my basement, and now I'm putting cars on it. I'm bringing life to it. And the next day I might come in, I might work on industries. The next day I come in, I might set up more road trains and bring life in. Or maybe it might be a day I might just turn the AI on and let it generate a whole bunch of traffic and see what falls in place. But the idea is there's so much to do, especially if you got the Southern California. If you have all the Southern California regions, there's so much to do that you can overwhelm yourself, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If you need to it's not a bad idea. I have them. I have Excel sheets. I make my notes. I look at Excel sheets, figure out what I want to do, but I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel to come up with something that can randomly tell me when to generate stuff. It's just, hey, you know what? I want a manifest train to work. I'm going to generate, AI a manifest train. Or I might make up a manifest train, put it in the train maker upper, shake it up a little bit, and then drop it into the receiving yard if I don't want to wait for it to come in. You can do anything you want. It's your railroad. Do whatever you want with it. So let's go bounce over to the receiving yard, and let's take a look and see what we got going on down here. Alright, is he coming in, or did I hold him up? What's he doing? Nope, he's coming in. Came in perfect. He's still coming in. So we're going to wait for him. So you got to remember, auto, the automatic switches, auto will take care of. But once you're in, like here in the Roseville yard, everything's manual switches for the most part. So you got to kind of walk the route or run the route just to make sure that their trains are not going to be held up, because you may have one that'll come in, say it's coming in over here from, I don't know, West Colton, and it comes in, but switches aren't aligned right. It'll hold up and wait until you have to come over here and actually throw the switches to tell it where you want it to go. So other yards and other areas might be fully automatic. That's great, because you can go off and do different things. I mean, you can I mean, and the idea here is at some point so we're gonna go ahead and do that next. We're gonna go ahead and push this up and over the hump as soon as he finishes coming in. Now, in the past, what I used to do, and you can certainly do this, is I used to run. I would keep, like, and this would be a perfect place to do it. Just keep it right down here by the, the yard shop, and have have a pair of locomotives. That's all they did was push these cars up and over the hump. Other than maybe the need to strip off the DPUs off the back end, why am I doing that? I can just use the head end road power, push that off, and then I can worry about taking that and moving it over to the to the engine holding area, or let it get refueled. And so anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. And then as soon as he comes to a stop, we're gonna go down and we're gonna take a look at what the hump controller looks like, and almost venture to guess there's going to need to be some reconfiguration. Alright, so we got some empties, we got some loads. And you're going to see here in a minute too why I kind of wish these were kind of all mixed up a little bit better. Alright. So or does he have to run through? Because he's still out of, this was a really long train. Wow. Alright, let me throw the switch down here at the end, make sure it's right, because if it's not, that's going to cause us a problem. Looks like it is. But I'm a little bit concerned. His next stop, I'm telling him to stop and hold right now, because he should have pulled up and stopped. Alright, well anyway. I had a feeling, now he should have stopped maybe on this. You know what, I'm wondering. My mistake, ladies and gentlemen, is my mistake. I had him come down this yard. I needed to come down into here. This is the receiving yard. This may have been the inspection yard. I didn't see it labeled that way, and I need to go look at. I'll look at the map on the depot website. That may be the inspection yard that I was bringing him down. That's why he didn't stop, but that's okay. So next thing, we're going to go ahead and empty that out anyway. So what we're going to do, come back here, flip that, come on back down here. This is a bad switch. And this is a bad switch. Alright, so now you should go through the hump controller. Get close to it, control F6. Alright, so depot config, if we use the depot config that I talked about in the earlier part of the stream, this is how they had on the depot server, how they have their hump config set up. So this is great. I'm okay with this if this is for outbound cars. In other words, if I go out and I bring in a bunch of cars onto the track where I just had the AI come in, and they're going to go outbound somewhere, this is the config that I'm going to want to run. Key point: make sure the bowl is clear. All right, empty the bowl out, get all your cars sorted out, and then go ahead, switch to this config, and then push your outbound cars, get them all built, and the train's built to go back out and get them off your map. For the manifest sort, I need to fix one here. This is an LRV. Okay, so I want these cars to basically be sorted onto these 4 tracks. I'm enabling it, locks it in. Auto pin puller is enabled. So if we come down here, let me get back into the drone mode again. All right, so you can see right here, 401, 402, 403, and 44. So it's going to get sorted down these 4 tracks. They're some of the longest. All right, so it'll be caboose shoving platforms. And I'm going to leave them there because that way I can then pull them, and I'll pull them onto these tracks or any one of these tracks over here, or I can pull them all the way down here depending on how long they are and sort them into this one. This is the local yard, so if I was going to do it right, I'm going to sort them into there. Those are the outbound locals. And we got 4 tracks, and the 5th one is a runaround for the locomotives. So perfect. Okay. So we're going to do that. Now we're going to fly back to this locomotive back here. We're all set up. We're just going to go and re-tag it. Of course, if you've never played Run 8, you have to have the word hump in your tag. So you're just going to take your lead locomotive, and down here where my arrow's at, I'm just going to wipe out that tag, and I'm just going to type in the word hump. That's it, and then AI crew it and let the AI run it. So the AI will push it back. Max speed really is anywhere between 2 and 3 miles per hour. And so it'll push the cars. That's why we made sure the switches were all aligned. It'll push the cars past this point. That sign right there is the actual pin pull point. And at that point, the cars will start going over, and you'll start see them automatically being switched. Even though if you come down here in the bowl, there are manual throw switches. Okay. The AI will take care of these switches. You don't have to worry about them. All right, that's it. So we're covering a lot today. We're going to sort some cars. Let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so we've got. Okay, well, here's the next manifest coming in from Utah. Coming in. You know, he's cleared to go up with a thing. They're going to meet somewhere in the middle, but he's going to be going through. In fact, he's passing Vista now, coming into Sparks. The Sparks yard's right here. Main yards on this side. The auto racks and bear tables are over there. That's something we can do. Let's do that. While we're waiting for this to sort, and we can see some more life on the left shift F2 traffic. Let's go back to spawn points, and we're going to do Elkhorn main 2 train type. I'm going to take these. I'm turning all these sliders down to the left because I want no chance of anything being, especially like when it says like unit oil. I can see oil maybe because there are some refineries that are in the Bay Area that would probably come through this area. Coal, not so much. Refrigeration, yes, definitely, because we, Roseville and Sacramento areas, they're at the very northern end of the San Joaquin Valley, which runs from Sacramento all the way down to Bakersfield, and before you hit the mountains, going down into LA. So that's the prime growing area for the state of California. So I can see, I can see refrigeration units. I can see grain units. Not a lot of coal though. Oil, yes. Auto racks, yeah. Coming up out of either Long Beach or the Port of Oakland, yeah, absolutely. Passenger, absolutely. We'll set some passenger up here. Maybe not today, but we'll get some passengers going, some Amtrak going through. But right now I'm going to do intermodal. I want to do intermodal, or we have mixed intermodal. You know what? Maybe mixed intermodal will be a little better, something a little different. So. All right, so we have from Oakland to North Platte. Might as well just go with that one. Allowing DPUs, allowed mid-train DPUs. Loaded, yes. ES44s, SD70 Aces, Union Pacific. So let's go ahead and let's drop that in. Boom, there it goes, and it's AI. So the dash AI means that the AI will automatically take it over. So you'll actually see dash AI dash. So actually, now that I think about it, you know what? I don't want that one right now. Hold on. I'm gonna delete that one. Go back. I'm gonna change that to. And the reason I'm doing this is when I shut the program down, if I shut my computer down, and then pick it up the next day, and I see trains running, and I see the numbers, they'll give me an idea as to when was the last time I was on, when was this train generated, and even though it'll be AI automatically, and that's the other one that'd be nice little checkbox would be, hey, do you want auto AI? Yes, no. Check it for auto AI, uncheck for not. I'll drop it, I'll go get it. That kind of thing. Just let it sit there, whatever. So I'm going to do this. So from Oakland to North Platte, high priority, spawn now. There we go. All right, and so same thing, we can go, here it is, transport to it. Saw a few of these. I won't say a lot. I didn't see as much as I was expecting to, but I saw quite a few. We have one on the end, mixed, 3 on the front, so 3 by 1. All right, he's got an approach. So limited approach. We're good. He's going to be on. He'll be moving out. There we go. All right, I'm getting notifications up here. Boxcars are starting to go over the hump, so let's go back to the yard. All right, so we're going to see here, we can watch the cars come past the controller. You'll see them break off and start to go out. And then once they're sorted, we're actually going to grab them, and we're going to take a look to see if they need to be flat sorted. We'll pull them out of the bowl. We'll pull them into the local yard. We actually may pull them into, I'm thinking here, there's the outbound yard. We might pull them into the outbound yard or the city yard. We're going to pull them into the city yard, and then from the city yard we can work them into the into their outbounds. And then the valley one, which we just came down, the valley one, we're just going to grab it. We're going to take a look and see how it's sorted. We may have to sort it by industry, not necessarily in the order that we're going to be delivering it, and we're just going to go work it and see what trouble we can get into, what mistakes I can make. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. All right, I need to go, while that's sorting, I'll walk away. Oh, no wonder it's getting warm in here. I left the window open. It's supposed to be a pleasant weekend here in California, and then we go back into triple digits again next week. So we've had like maybe a week and a half of triple digits, a few days double digits, and then back in the triple digits. And so we had one period where we were literally hovering right in and around 115. So all right, I'm looking for, I need something. All right, I need that, and I need this. Okay. Off-camera stuff, guys. Sorry, nothing to do with Run 8. All right. This is just kind of calming, to be honest with you. There was somebody that actually said that they felt that this was kind of therapeutic to watch the hump, and it really is kind of, and it's really, I mean, it's pretty ingenious, to be honest with you. Smarter guys than me figured this part out. All right, I'll just put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to put you down here. All right, I want to There we go. All right. So on this particular one, we're going to have to kind of watch and look for notifications up here for any of the on the Roseville side, or even on the Spark side, any of the manifests coming in, we might get a notification that somebody set a switch against them. If they come on and go off the map, that's because we didn't do our due diligence, which it's interesting since Roseville just came out like about a year or so ago, that they didn't plan it to work like Barstow or West Colton. That even though there are manual switches, that if auto can control the manual switches in the bowl here, why didn't they drop manual switches in and say, okay, we're going to go ahead, we're going to route this train into the best open receiving yard slot, which is what it does at Barstow or West Colton. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But if they're trying to stay prototypical and it's all manual switching, then yeah, you got a manifest, you got to keep an eye on it and making sure. And honestly, if you're looking at it from a model railroader standpoint, you're going to be standing there anyway at your bench work, watching the train, going, oh, make sure that your cars are switched. And even though nowadays there's computer controlled switches, you're still going to be there making sure. So, all right, we're going to sit here and let this sort out, and then we're going to go ahead and start. We'll start pulling these out, but we're going to let the whole train sort. And then once the train's sorted, I believe I need to pull the locomotives off, go back this way. Yeah, go back this way, and then take them over to the yard shop over there. So, first things first, we'll get the road power out of the way. Then I think I even saw some units over there that said Sparks power. There was Sparks power. So if that's the case, I might have to bring in, just to get those out over, and for a reason to do so is to create a manifest train for Sparks to come into here, and then be sorted out. And I can even do that, create a mixed manifest. So it's a set of cars, some of it for Sparks, some of it for here, and split out the cars that are for Sparks and tie some road power to it and send them off to get the road power out of the way, and do it on the other side over there too as well, is have mixed manifest come in and sort it that way. And we're not even dealing with going up the mountain yet, because from here in Roseville we're going to go up as far as Colfax, and then Truckee eastward will be handled out of Sparks, I believe. So, but we're going to follow the locals and where they go, and we'll check the maps. So, all right. So not a lot today. I got today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm solid hard at work for the next 180 days until next summer. So streaming will probably be in the evening, sporadic, and maybe a recording and then posting, that kind of thing. Weekends maybe some live streams, unless I have some things going on. I know there's a potential construction project that I'm going to be working on. I still have to work out the deals. We work out some details with a couple of people. There we go. Yeah, my mistake here was when he came in. So he came in, I had him come down this line. I should have had him come down this way. Come in, and then they could have just anywhere one of these. And probably this one been the best one for him. Oh, man. You know, well, no, I'm not going to say I don't want to point it out, but there's some things here that I'm seeing in the graphics. And I think a lot of it, some of it is my monitor, but I do have I have a plan. And honestly, I'm looking at like the last 2 days of work that I did have just paid for my new processor. So wood chip hopper. There's a gondola. So green labels, once again, empties. Red labels, full. Yellow or orange are partials, if you see any of those. There's a tank, LR60 SLP, so that's a full tanker. Let's see. Looks like he's slowing down. Probably, I bet he's coming to the recrew point. So he'll tie up the line here. This building actually exists. So when I looked and when we went by the yard, I saw it. I'm like, hey, that's awesome. So that's for the Davis Yard main office. That's pretty cool. The only thing that they didn't miss, they left out, which I wish they had put in here, were a couple of static displays of some old Southern Pacific steam locomotive and then a steam-driven snowplow. Or snow thrower, well actually snow blower, snow thrower, whatever you want to call it, sitting there. So I'm like, oh, they need to put that in the game. That'd been a nice little touch right there too. And then there's a couple more. You go through Truckee, and I think it was Colfax, had some old SP steam stuff sitting there as static displays. So yep, we're coming up to this will be a crew change here. What is MOW? I don't ever go into that. MOW is F6, okay. That's not what I was looking for. I mean, there's a way to remove this, but I don't think I want to. It's kind of prototypical because it makes sense that they would meet the train here, exchange crews, and the crews that know the mountains, that know the ins and outs of they would take the train up over the mountain. So. Well, we're almost done sorting this train. Oh wait, that's car pro. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, we are more than halfway, I think. How are we looking down here? All right. So we're starting to see everything's sorted by local, not necessarily sorted by industry. I mean, an example. Whoops. A lot of this is Roseville yard stuff. So RVM, RVF is fuel, RRS, Roseville Recycling Service. So okay. So this is perfect. I think the Roseville, NorCal region is excellent for single player. You still have to buy the base model, which gives you needles, Barstow, and Mojave. I drew a blank here. Mojave or Mojave, but there's a lot to do. Lot more railroad. I guess a lot more mileage and tracks, and there's some small locals. This one gives you a decent area to run if you want to just run a road train from one end to the other. It gives you some decent local runs on this end, and especially in the Sparks Reno area. So perfect for solo play, depending on what you want to do. Perfect for maybe a couple, 2, 3 friends. Getting on here, you guys can maybe roll a dice. Who's gonna, hey, you're gonna run road trains, or hey, we got a mixed manifest sitting down in Sparks that needs to go to Roseville, or vice versa. And one buddy could be focusing on running that train. There's also coming up over the mountains, you might need to run a helper units. So that's another option for you as well too. Run those helper units to get a big train up over the mountains. So, or hey guys, we're going to be working Roseville today. Everybody converge on Roseville, and you do nothing but you don't have to AI over the hump. You could do it yourself, as long as you just maintain the speed limit and like anywhere between 2 to 3 miles an hour. And everybody else can be, pulling, like someone can be trimming cars out of the bowl. Another one could be sorting cars into their locals by industry. All right, so that intermodal train's pulling out. It is getting ready to head up. A crew change has happened. So now we're just waiting for this to finish. Let's look at the dispatching screen. Alright, so that's on main track 2. So he's got him heading up over, switching over, coming down. This one is held up. Why are you doing that? And they got the SP coming this way. I think it's time for another train to come out of half head over there. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up the AI screen. Oh, I don't want that one. I gotta learn more about the trackball. What am I doing? Left shift F2. Alright, so let's grab another one. AI traffic generation. But I want spawn points. Half head. We're gonna do half head westbound. Train type. International containers. Train symbols don't have any. Okay. So we're going to do this one. I'm going to do quality train. And from North Platte to Oakland dash. Okay. And we're going to allow that, and it's going to be, cars will be tagged for OA, OA, and high priority, Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, and he's coming from, you know what, we're going to have a little different road power. We're going to have a Kansas City Southern. That's going to be a part of that one. Let's see how he looks. Spawn now. AI status. He just popped in. Let's transport. Southern Pacific on the head end. Interesting. Some weathered SP units. Big old container train. Are you kidding? No DPUs. Wow. Okay then. Alright, so that's half ed. So, alright, so the other half ed one actually spawns back here. Alright, I'm good with that. Alright, but I'm just saying wow because don't know what his it doesn't tell me what his horsepower per ton is, but alright. So we're gonna do alright. Traffic options. Interesting. Nothing there. If I come down here, Sutro, Sunset, Whitney South. Sunset. So this makes sense. Amtrak 6, end of track near half ed. That makes sense to me because that Amtrak 5, I'm sorry, and I said Amtrak 6. Amtrak 5 is the westbound California Zephyr out of Chicago. Amtrak 6 is the eastbound California Zephyr, which leaves it initially out of Emeryville and then heads for heads for Chicago. So world famous train. So I might have to create a spawn point just say for that, Amtrak 6. Okay, well, we got a couple of trains heading west. I'm going to drop one into here. What do we got here? No save trains there. Oh, how about some bear tables? Bear tables from... This will be another Q train, West Colton to Sparks. The Sparks has an intermodal yard. Do bear tables. We're going to be allowed DPUs. Mid-train might as well. And tag for SP. High priority. And just Union Pacific. Spawn now. Alright, let's go to the yard. So we're going to rapid transport. And let's see. Oops. Alright, so give you an idea. Whoa, that's a long one. Wow, it comes all the way into here. So here's the bowl. There's the end. But I don't see any DPUs, so he's sitting there waiting. He can at least pull forward, maybe. So, but at least pull up to these lights right here. Wait for this guy to get off of that main and onto the other. So, and then at which point I'll let him go and see where we get hung up at. I know that we need a lot of bear tables. We need several bear tables there at the. There is a intermodal yard in Sparks. So he's carrying empty bear tables. All right, let's get back to over here. I haven't seen anything about the hump being finished, but it's getting close. Got one train. That's going to be the valley, I bet you, right there. Yep, got about a few more cars, and then we just move the road power over. Which we may not be able to do that right away, at which point I'll park it, but because that bear table is like, yeah. Alright, this is coming to an end here, so we're going to go ahead and move this road power out of the way. Alright, he's all done. And he's relinquishing. I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna have to change that because that's hard to see. There we go. That makes maybe make it a little easier to see. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to jump in here, take control of this unit. I'm going to pull forward. Nope, not backward. Now that was appropriate. Okay, got a bad switch. I am playing by keyboard, no rail driver yet. Now I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at how the cars are sorted. I'm going to look at the Valley Run. So LRB 64, I believe, is that's the local. So I'm going to look at that one. And we're going to take a look and see what kind of sorting it is. I may pull it into the outbound yard and then sort it into the local yard. A little fast to the yard. Dang it. Supervisor's looking out his window. I'm in trouble. Just wave. Yeah, boss, you don't need to call me, I know. Talk to the engineer. I'm the conductor right now. we have a good switch here? Yep, we do. Alright, bad switch here. So I hit independent brakes, let's bring her to a stop. Oh, you... that way. And which way do I want to come in? That's high-speed rail, so I need to go that one. Alright, so that comes in this way. Let me take the brakes off. Give it a notch. Alright, let it coast for a bit. Come on in and... Alright. That's a bad switch. I actually want to come down this way. Yep. Straight through. Alright. Come on down. This way, but this is a bad switch here. Actually, no, it's not. I just looked. I'm looking beyond the wash rack. So I'm going to have her come through the wash rack. Here. And into the service rack right here. Okay, we're going to come into this one. Cool. All right. Get back here. Yep, that should have been a horn right there. It's a crossing, but oh well. Whew. Jumped on before I got ran over. All right. Anti-aliasing today, at least from my perspective, is giving me some fits. Norfolk Southern unit. We'll have to build an outbound train going east with that unit on there. Alright. And shift F5, tire down, shut her off. Alright, what do we got here? Rio Grande, Southern Pacific. That might not be a bad pair to go do the valley run with. Let's see, well, it's a tunnel, so you got tunnel motor here, pair of tunnel motors. Well, why not? Nope, wrong one. Okay. And let's see if we can get over to the bowl from here now. on. Oh, you know, probably would help if I actually put it in forward. There we go. It's a small thing. Little tiny itty bitty thing. Alright, so we're going to head on over. We don't need snow removal shop and local yard office. Head over to there, to the yard office. Oh. Bad switch. Okay. I have slow speed turned on, so I can just leave the notch up, but it won't go faster than 4 miles an hour. So, gives me time to check, switch all this, and keep it moving at the same time. So we're good. Alright, so we're moving. Alright. Good here. Had to stop right there on my trip. Roseville Amtrak station. Alright, bad switch. Alright. So I need to get over there. Now this, I was going to use this one, but I'm going to use these pair here. I want to pull them out of the wash rack anyway. They don't need to be there. Or the service rack. So bad switch. I believe that to be a bad switch. Good switch. And then we're going to pull up here. And it's right there, still coming, so I'm going to do drone mode. So actually, I need to come down any one of these lines here into there. Okay, so if I need to do that, I don't need to worry about that light. I need to get past. I just need to. Well, I kind of might. Well, actually, I may not have to. Oh, get up here. Nope. I should be able to. If I can stop close to that switch, I should be good. Okay. Still coming. Alright, let's take slow speed off. Alright, so I'm getting to a point where it's about almost time for me to take a break, but I'm not going to do that until I connect. I want to see what my plan is going to be. And then this is probably going to be a whole lot of flat switching, and if I do stop the stream, then I'll restart it again when I go ahead out to work the Valley Run. But I need to take a break. So, what are you stopping for? see. Alright. Not even close to violating that light right there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That will work. That will work. Okay, so far that will work. Ooh. Stream got choppy all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's lagging out pretty bad now, right, guys? Now, I'm sorry, guys, for that. I'm doing fine until I started to. Oh, I'm going too fast through there. Wow. Keep an eye on that. I just looked at the analytics for the stream. They're doing very well. And then again, maybe not. Let's see. This might actually be a time for me to actually pull it to a stop because something's not right. Because everything's green on my side, but I'm looking at what's going on YouTube. Something's not right there. So, and it was right up to that point when I started going reverse on these locomotives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring the stream to a stop right here. See if I can figure out what's going on. So, fix the quality of the stream, fix the lag. I'm green across the board, so there really should be no lag. So, give me just a minute. But as I said, I'm going to stop. This is a good time to take a break then if I got to fix some stuff. So, alright, well, I want to thank everybody for watching. This is The Lazy Farmer. And, yeah, I will catch you guys next time. And, yeah, everything's looking good on this side, so I'm not sure what the issue is. So, anyway, hope you guys have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.